Hi everybody, we are discussing about human health and diseases. Okay, human health and disease. And for today's topic in this video, we are going to discuss about the next protozoan called as the Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, Entamoeba histolytica. In the previous video, we studied about one protozoan called as the Plasmodium vivax, which is responsible for causing malaria. And today we are going to discuss about the next protozoan called as the Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica. So here, this particular protozoan is also responsible for causing a particular disease in the humans. Okay, also responsible for causing one particular disease in the humans. So we are going to discuss about that disease which is caused by this particular protozoan called as Entamoeba histolytica. So here, if you are seeing, the name of the disease which we are going to discuss is amoebiasis. Okay, amoebiasis. Okay, the name of the disease which we are going to discuss is about amoebiasis, or otherwise it is called as what? Amoebic dysentery. It is called as amoebic dysentery or enteritis. Okay, it is called as enteritis. Okay, so here amoebic dysentery, commonly we are calling it as what? Amoebic dysentery, or otherwise amoebiasis. So this is the name of the disease which we are going to discuss. And this disease is caused by the pathogen called as what? Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica. So this is a pathogen. Pathogen means what? The disease causing organism is called as pathogen. So here the pathogen which is causing the disease, okay, amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery is called as what? Entamoeba histolytica. This is the name of the organism which is causing the disease. So here, if you are looking at this particular Entamoeba histolytica, this organism is looking at, it will be surviving. Okay, it is surviving in one host only. Okay, where it survives means it is in one host only. So we already said we came across two words. Okay, in the previous videos, in this chapter, in the previous videos, we studied about two words: digenetic and monogenetic. Digenetic means what? Any organism, when it is using two hosts to complete its life cycle, we call it as digenetic. And what do you mean by now the word monogenetic? When an organism is completing its life cycle within one, within one organism, it is called as monogenetic. So here, this particular pathogen known as Entamoeba histolytica will be completing its life cycle within one organism, that we are calling it as what? Host. We are calling it as the host. So whenever a pathogen is completing its life cycle within one organism, then we call it as what? Monogenetic. We are calling it as the monogenetic. So here you have to remember this word, monogenetic. Means what? An organism which is completing its life cycle within one, species, within one organism. Or let us say it like this: a pathogen which completes its life cycle within one organism. That organism is called as what? Host. So here, what is that organism here? It is the humans. Okay. So in humans, it completes its life cycle. In humans, it completes its life cycle. The complete life cycle of this organism, Entamoeba histolytica, will be completed in the humans only. It is not as we studied regarding the Plasmodium vivax, where it is completing its life cycle in half of its life cycle in the mosquito and the other half in the humans. That is called as digenetic. But here the complete life cycle is completed within the humans. So that's why we are using the word monogenetic. We are using the word monogenetic. Now, for the first time, who is the scientist who discovered this particular Entamoeba histolytica? The scientist who discovered the Entamoeba histolytica, is by the Lambert. Lambert in the year 1859 discovered Entamoeba histolytica. In the year 1859, he discovered what? Entamoeba histolytica. He is the one who discovered this particular protozoan. But later on, it is lost. In the year 1875, have discovered the pathogenic nature of this particular organism. Pathogenic nature of this particular organism. Pathogenic nature of this organism. So you have to remember, the scientist who discovered this particular organism is whom? It is Lambert. But its pathogenic nature is being discovered by whom? It is lost. It is lost. So now habitat, and you know the meaning, the word habitat. What do you mean by the word habitat? Habitat means what? A place where it lives for its shelter and food. Okay, for its shelter and its food, then we call it as what? Habitat. So this particular Entamoeba histolytica is present, okay, is present or residing, it is present in the large intestine of humans. It is present in the large intestine of humans. So here, if one more point that you have to remember here, when we say that it is the habitat is the large intestine of humans, we should also remember that it is mainly present or seen. It is mainly seen or identified that this particular Entamoeba histolytica is attacking more, okay, males, okay, more males, humans. In humans, it is more seen attacking what? Males than in females. So it is more attacking what? Males and less what? The females. So this is what we have to keep in mind. So more males are being attacked or caused by a disease called as what? Amoebiasis. And now the very important point and very important is that for any entrance exam, so is the infective stage. This particular Entamoeba histolytica, okay, Entamoeba histolytica, as it is completing its life cycle, it will be showing many changes. It is undergoing many changes, and one of the changes at which it exists is the cyst stage. Okay, cyst means what? The organism is covered by a thick layer, okay, which is a thick layer called as cyst. Okay, this cyst will be protecting from desiccation, from hard or high temperatures and low temperatures. To prevent from dehydration, this cyst will be formed around a particular organism. So in the same way, here also Entamoeba histolytica is enclosed by a cyst to protect itself from various chemicals that are produced in the digestive system of the human beings. So here the infective stage is the cyst form. Okay, this is nothing but what? Entamoeba histolytica only. Entamoeba histolytica. This is Entamoeba histolytica. It is enclosed by what now? The cyst. So here we call it as what? Cyst. Okay, it is enclosed by cyst to protect itself from various harmful hazards. So now it is this infective stage, okay, which we are calling as what? Cyst. So Entamoeba histolytica infective stage is what? Cyst. Please remember, this is very important. Okay, this is very important. Cyst is the infective stage. Now modes of transmission. How this disease is spreading from one person to another person. Most of the times this disease is seen in the tropical and subtropical regions. Okay, it is seen spreading more in the tropical and also subtropical regions. And here, when we are saying tropical and subtropical regions, in the places where it is more, okay, densely populated or densely populated regions, in such regions, this disease is being identified. Okay, it is mostly identified in tropical and subtropical regions. And at the same time, here we have to remember that subtropical and tropical regions means what we have to remember is that it is there in the places where it is densely populated. It is there identified in the places where it is densely populated. It's because there is no proper sanitation. So, okay, it is because of there is no proper sanitation. There will be this disease identified in those regions where there is no proper sanitation, and in these areas they will be going for open defecation. Okay, they will be going for open defecation. So that's why it is more common in these places. So we all know when there is open defecation, there are vectors, means what? The carriers. So here what are the carriers is flies and cockroaches. Flies and cockroaches are mechanical carriers. These insects or these flies and cockroaches, which are called as mechanical vectors, will be visiting the fecal matter. And on their body they will be carrying this particular organism called as Entamoeba histolytica. So we have to remember now that it is because of the flies and cockroaches which are visiting the fecal matter consisting of what? The cyst. And we already said the infective stage of Entamoeba histolytica is what? The cyst. So these cysts are present in the fecal matter of that particular individual. So when they go for open defecation, now the cockroaches and houseflies, they will visit this open defecated fecal matter, and on their body they will be carrying this microorganism, this pathogen called as Entamoeba histolytica. And when they visit the food products that are prepared, okay, the freshly prepared food, okay, or food products, when they visit, when the flies and cockroaches visit, then there are chances that they deposit these cyst, okay, cyst, which is in the form of a cyst. What is that? Entamoeba histolytica on the food. And when a person eats this food, now there are more chances that that particular individual will be suffering with what? The same disease called as amoebiasis. Okay, the same disease called as amoebiasis. So here, that's why we are saying it as modes of transmission is fecal oral route. Fecal oral route means when the fecal matter is defecated, okay, it is from that fecal matter through the oral contact. Okay, we are taking the food which is contaminated with what? This particular pathogen. So that's why we are using the word fecal oral route. Fecal oral route. And please remember, okay, this disease can also spread, okay, can also spread through sexual transmission. Okay, sexual transmission. Okay, the primary cause is the fecal oral route. Okay, fecal oral route, and the secondary chance or second chance is that sexual transmission. Okay, sexual transmission. Now, this sexual transmission we will be discussing now. What do you mean by sexual transmission? So how it is possible through sexual transmission? Sexual transmission means when they are practicing homosex, okay, when they practice homosexual contact, okay, there are chances that this disease may spread from one person to another person. But otherwise, the primary cause is the primary route is what? The fecal oral route. Okay, fecal oral route. Then which is through the flies and cockroaches, which are called as the mechanical vectors. Okay, mechanical vectors. Now, if you are seeing the mode of infection, here we have to remember that if this is the fecal matter, the insects, okay, the insects will visit, okay, the insects will visit the fecal matter, or the flies, okay, the flies will be visiting the fecal matter, and on their body this Entamoeba histolytica is deposited in the form of what? Infective stage called as the cyst. Infective stage called as the cyst. Now these insects, house flies or the flies or cockroaches, when they visit the food which is prepared freshly, they contaminate the food. They contaminate the food. And please remember, before we move further, please remember, this disease is spreading more through the contaminated food and water. Through the contaminated food and water, this will be spreading. Okay, this disease will be spreading more through what? Contaminated food and also contaminated water. That we have to keep it in mind in simple. Now here, once this visits, okay, the fecal matter, and when it is visiting, okay, the food that is freshly prepared, okay, when the same insect now visits the food that is freshly prepared, okay, it will be depositing the infective stage of the Entamoeba histolytica called as the cyst on the food. And when a person eats this food, contaminated food, now this particular Entamoeba histolytica moves through the mouth, through the esophagus into the stomach, and there in the stomach, remember that the gastric juices are produced. As we know, in the stomach what is produced? Gastric juice is produced. And very important to make note is that gastric juice cannot destroy the cyst, which is nothing but what? Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica, which is in the infective stage called as cyst, cannot be destroyed by the gastric juice. Cannot be destroyed by the gastric juice. That is very important. So here, how it is there? Now, in the form of cyst it is there. Now it enters into the small intestine, mouth, esophagus, stomach, then into the small intestine. In the small intestine, in the presence of an enzyme called as trypsin, okay, in the presence of an enzyme called as trypsin, the cyst wall will be ruptured. The cyst wall will be ruptured. And now the Entamoeba histolytica enters inside into the large intestine. That's what we said. Okay. The habitat of the Entamoeba histolytica is what? The large intestine of humans. So once in the presence of trypsin, the wall, the cyst is ruptured. Now Entamoeba histolytica enters into the large intestine. There it resides and multiplies. There it multiplies, again forming into what? The cyst form, and that cyst form will be again defecated through the fecal matter. Okay, it will be there present in the fecal matter. That is what is the mode of infection. So the cyst is taken with the contaminated food and water. It enters through the mouth into the esophagus, into the stomach. There in the stomach it is not destroyed by the gastric juice and enters, now passes or crosses the stomach, enters into the small intestine. There in the small intestine, in the presence of trypsin, the cyst wall is ruptured. Now from there, this Entamoeba histolytica enters into the large intestine, multiplies there, again forms the cyst, and from the large intestine it is excreted or defecated outside along with the stool or the fecal matter again. And that's how it will be recycling. So here we are identifying the whole life cycle of this particular Entamoeba histolytica is completed within the humans. Within the humans, that's why we are calling it as what? It is monogenic. Okay, when it is completing its whole life cycle within one organism, that is the humans. So here, what is incubation period? IP means here incubation period. Okay, the incubation period is about 2 to 4 weeks. Very important. This is very important. Incubation period of Entamoeba histolytica is of how many days or weeks? It is about 2 to 4 weeks. It is about 2 to 4 weeks. That is very important. We have to keep in mind. And this particular Entamoeba histolytica occurs or it is found in dimorphic. It is found or occurs in dimorphic. So what do you mean by the word dimorphic? When an organism existing in two forms, when an organism is existing in two forms, we call it as dimorphic. We call it as dimorphic. So it occurs in two forms, we are saying, that is dimorphic. When an organism is occurring in two forms, existing in two forms, we use the word dimorphic. One which we call it as magna. Okay, one form of the Entamoeba histolytica is magna. Okay, one form of Entamoeba histolytica is magna, and another form of Entamoeba histolytica is minuta. Okay, minuta. Okay, this is another form, magna form and minuta form. These are the two forms of Entamoeba histolytica. Among these two, magna form is harmful. Okay, these two, magna form is harmful. So you have to keep this one in your mind. Okay, magna form which is harmful, minuta form which is harmless. Which is harmless, we say. So here now we have to remember that Entamoeba histolytica is existing in or occurring in two forms which we are using the word dimorphic. One is called as what? Magna form, and the other one is called as minuta form. Magna form is harmful, minuta form is harmless. So here, these are the simple points that we have to keep in mind when we are talking about the disease called as the Entamoeba histolytica. Okay, sorry, the protozoan called as the Entamoeba histolytica, which is causing the disease called as amoebiasis. So today we studied just only in simple about the disease called as amoebiasis caused by an organism or protozoan called as Entamoeba histolytica. In the next video, we are going to discuss about the life cycle of this Entamoeba histolytica, how it is completing its life cycle in the humans. How it is completing its life cycle in the humans, we are going to discuss in the next video. So today we have learned about the protozoan, Entamoeba histolytica, and the disease it is causing called as what? Amoebiasis. Amoebiasis. Thank you so much.